Hi, welcome back. This is Venkat. In this video, I'm going to show you how to install GNS3 software as you requested me. After you go into the GNS3 website, you will find right away about the software. But to download the software, you need to have an account with GNS3. I have already created my own account, so I have logged into the website and I'm ready to download now. So once I log into the website, it shows you the download panel, download page. Like click on the free download, which is a standalone application, the GNS3. And after you download this, you have to download the VM also. So this is the VM, and when you click over here, it shows you to download the it shows you the version which one you want to download and the VM here. So click on download VM and it will show you type of virtual machine you are using. You can select any of the one and download it. Once you download the both files and extract them, I have already downloaded them and extracted. So these are my files. So this is my GNS3 standalone file and this is my GNS3 VM. So once I extract the VM, it will be a virtual machine directly that you can add it onto your VMware. So since I have VMware, which is highly recommended by GNS3 when I was using it, so I'm going to directly drop this VM into the VMware. You can directly click on this VM, right click and say open with workstation, VMware workstation, and it will add the VM to this VMware. So I want to change my location because I don't have enough space on my C drive. I have created a dedicated drive for my GNS3. I'm going to use this and create a new folder, GNS3. Okay, I now import the VM. So now all it does is it's importing the VM to the VMware workstation. Once it is done, we are going to boot it up. In meantime, it is loading. Let's go ahead and install the software also. Go back and click. So this is a regular process, but it does ask you a few questions in order to create the GNS3 in order to install them. Like if you want to install GNS3 web client, GNS3 VM. Since I already started installing the GNS3 VM, yeah, I don't want to check it. And web client, I didn't use it, so I don't want to use that either case. So I just need the GNS3 desktop, so that is good. And when it comes to tools, it automatically installs all the tools. So there is some kind of new app in this solar party. I don't want the solar party because I like the actual party. So yeah, this could be, yeah. So these are all the pre-built tools that it is going to use to run the GNS3 and to help us to find all the terminals and etc. So to run the machines inside the GNS3. So let's go ahead and install them. Click next, and the installation folder will also be on my D drive, GNS3 here. Click continue, and this will install all the packages now. So it would take like a couple of minutes. It's really fast. Earlier it used to be slow, but now it is fast. So let's see what's the status of our VM. Okay, the VM got installed. So let's boot up the VM or on the machine. So it boots up. So let's go back to the software and see. So it booted up. Let's go back to the software and see what is happening. Okay, I don't want any SolarWinds tools for now. Okay, let's start the GNS3. When you open the software, by default it throws you a setup wizard to install the appliances, but you can choose to avoid this, like click do not show this again, and it will close it. So let's cancel this for now. let me maximize this screen. First thing we need to check is whether this software is connected to GNS3 VM or not. So if you see the server status, it is only showing desktop, not the GNS3 VM status. So we need to find and fix add GNS3 to the software. Let's go ahead and do that. It should be in the edit, preferences, enable GNS3 VM. Once you check this box and it says VMware workstation or player is recommended, now you can refresh and click apply. It will try to connect to the GNS3 VM that we have installed and run on VMware. So now it's going to contact and get the status of the VM. Now it did get contact the VM and got the update from it. So now the light is green. So you got to make sure that every time the GNS3 VM light is green, not red or orange. I don't think it would be orange, but yeah, either case it will be red or green. So green is always good, which is it is in contact with the VM. There is no connection to the VM, you cannot run your networks. Like you cannot build your nodes, you cannot get access to nodes or the appliances that you have deployed on the VM. This is just like a front-face application that is trying to provide you a UI, do all the stuff inside the GNS3 VM. So VM is the heart and this is a face. Okay, so now we see it is been done. So let's click OK. Now we have GNS3 VM connected to the software, so all good. So let's go ahead and also do some changings before we start adding appliances or the nodes to the software. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to the VMs and change my VM hardware preferences. Like currently it is only using 1 vCPU and 2 GB RAM, which is very low, which even only one node can work. That is like maybe Cisco router or a Cisco switch. So these are the only two things, or maybe FortiGate firewall. Yeah, these are the only two firewalls, the devices that can run. Or like only one node can handle this CPU and RAM energy. So to increase, if you want to increase the number of nodes and plan and build a network, then you need to have more CPUs and more RAM. So it can be split onto all the nodes, and all the nodes can share the energy. My processor is 8 core processor, which means I have 16 threads. So 16 threads is nothing but 16 virtual processors. So each thread is a virtual processor for the VMs. So now since I have 16 virtual processors, I'm going to use 12 virtual processors, because when I use GNS3 I don't do any other stuff except using web browser. So now when it comes to the energy, I'm going to use 20 GB. I have 32 GB RAM on my PC, which is kind of enough for me, because I build like 20, 25, 30 nodes at same time, so it is okay for me. So now I will utilize like 20 GB or around 18 GB RAM, maybe more. Let's say 24 GB RAM. I can use that much. Yeah. So currently 24,500 MB. So yeah, this should give me a good amount of RAM that I can utilize for all my VMs. So once you make the changes over these two fields, then click apply. What it does is it is going to send the query to the GNS3 VM and make changes inside the VM to set the hardware to the whatever we have done on the software. So now you see the GNS3 VM is also rebooting. That is because it sent the instructions to make the changes and reboot the server. Okay, now it is done. Let's go back to the software and see what's the amount of RAM it has now. So now if you see, it does have 12 and 24. Okay. So now if you want to double check, just use the same options. Go to GNS3 VM and see how many vCPUs and RAM is been allocated. So once this is done, now we are set with the initial process of the software. Like we build the environment. We build the software, we build the VM, and complete environment has been set up for the GNS3. All we need to do is now keep on adding nodes or appliances to the software. All these adding nodes and softwares will be pulled or deployed or stored on the VM server, not on the software. So remember that everything you are doing is being stored on the VM, not on the software. So to do that, these are all the icons that you have, and you click any of these, it will provide the pre-built install appliances, and these are really basic. So to install a new one, click new template and select first option, which is recommended. And these two options are really old technology, and are like, these are all VMware Docker containers or something that is different, and manually create a new template. Yeah, these two I never used it. I mean, the second one I used it, but it was really old. It was really old, like a few years back. But now it is I don't use it at all. And this third one I never used it. So the first one, I use the first one because I get all the pre-built appliances from all the vendors, pay them, and I download them. So now, click next, and you should find all the list of categorized appliances list. Since I have ASA firewall image, so I'm going to install that ASA firewall. ASA. So right away it's shown me the ASA firewall, ASA image under the firewalls. So select that, click install, and now it goes to the install page. Install the appliance on GNS3 VM. Yeah, the rest of them are being grayed out. And just leave the QEMU binary the same way, 36 or 64-bit. And now it is searching for the installed, if you have a file on your PC or not. Since I have the file already on my PC, so it did grab it right away. So this is what it found, and now it says ready to install. The rest of them are not. So click on it if you want to see. Yeah, just like this, found locally. This is how it finds. If it doesn't find, you don't have to worry. Just click on create new version and say something, and then click OK, and then go over there and click on this one of the files and click import, and then find the document, find the file, and import it. That's it. Once it is done, then it will show you ready to install. Till it shows ready to install, you cannot install it. So if you have this green ready to install, then it's good. So now click next. Yeah, it shows a prompt, so click yes, and now it is uploading the GNS3, I mean ASA firewall into the GNS3 server. See, yeah, it did. Now click finish, click OK. Yeah, all right. So now I could see my ASA firewall on the list of devices. Now let's go ahead and create a project. Let me create a one. Next thing is just select the image and drag it onto the white box, white space, workspace, and click start. And when you double click, since it is a Docker container, so it is going through the terminal view. So the QEMU tight VNC viewer is the one that we get access to the to view the terminal prompt, terminal display. But if you want to change the terminal display, all I do is after I log into the firewall, I make a standard configuration changes and give access to the SSH. So I can connect through a VM and access the terminal through my machine SSH, and then do it. Okay, all right. So now we got access to our ASA firewall. I'm just typing show show run, sorry, enable show run, and this is it. So all right. So this is the simple way how we can. This is the way how we install the GNS3 software, VM, GNS3 VM, and install the appliances or the devices on the GNS3. And this is same process for all the other devices, all the other vendor devices, and everybody. Yeah, any device you find on the GNS3 list of applications over here. Click new. Yeah, over here you should find like more than 100 devices. So all these devices have the same process. All you need to do is you should have a QEMU file, that is like either mkv file or the vmkv file, which is from the VMware, or it should be .qcow2 file. So these two files are being supported by the GNS3. So either you have one of these two formatted files, you should be good. And the version is also kind of I don't think it is important. Version should not be a matter, because if you don't find the version, pre-built version, you can create a new one and install it. It doesn't stop you from doing that. So but yeah, it has lot many vendor image files, so you can use any of these, like so many routers, switches, so anything, like it's like more than 100 devices, I guess. Yeah, I see them. And if you don't find any of them, any of the vendor device over here, you can, the other thing you can do is go over here, go to edit, select preferences, and now you can install VPC Nodes. You can also install dynamic IOS routers, which is the old version of the Cisco ASA routers. IOU, which is a Linux based version. QEMU VMs. Yeah, this is the QEMU VM. If you have QEMU, yeah, you can directly load it over here, or you can go through the same process just like I'm showing you. And the virtual box, yeah, some of the images you find maybe in the VM format, and you don't, it is not listed in the GNS3, then you can come over here and add it. And if you have created virtual machines on the virtual box on your host on your computer, and you want to add them to the GNS3 to gain access to GNS3 build networks, then you can just come over here, select the virtual box VMs, click new, and run the VM on the local computer. Yeah, and now it should find the list of VMs. I mean, if you have them, it will show you the list of VMs, and then you can do that, add them and finish, it will add it. The same way the VMware has also, like, let's see, click new VMware VMs run on the computer. Yeah, I have these many VMs on my VMware now, so it is showing me how many I have, and I can select any of this. I'll select the Ubuntu, click finish, click apply, click OK, and if you see, now I got a Ubuntu VM. So now I can drag this and drop on my GNS3 and use it. But there is one thing that you have to do before using this. That is, on the VM, what you have to do is the type of network adapter should become local network. Yeah, so it should be custom and local host only type adapter. If it is something other than host only, then that would be or a custom. If it is other, if you use the NAT or bridged, or yeah, it NAT or bridged, it won't work. GNS3 cannot communicate between the VM with the VM. So in order to use the VMware VM in GNS3, you have to build and create a custom network adapter with a host only type. Or you can also use host only, but host only can be used on one VM, which is provided by VMware. So I recommend to build custom network adapters and make them host only, and then you can select for each VM custom one, and then you can use it on the GNS3. As long as you have enough custom adapters to add to VMs, to add to each VM on VMware, then you should be able to pull them onto the GNS3 and use it. Because in the GNS3, each VM is being considered as independent host machine, so it should have its own adapter. So it should not use a shared adapter from the VMware, and VMware cannot switch the packets. Thank you for watching. I hope this video does make sense and help you to install the GNS3 VM, help to build the networks that you want to build. All right, thank you guys. Have a great day. Bye bye. Take care.